Hello and welcome to this magical story. Today, I'll take you on a journey filled with adventure, curious characters, and impossible places. Join me as we explore the incredible tale of Alice in Wonderland. Get comfy, open your imagination, and let's begin. Alice in Wonderland. It was a warm and peaceful afternoon. The sun gently kissed the meadow, and a soft breeze danced through the leaves. Alice, a curious and imaginative young girl, sat by the riverbank beside her sister, who was reading a book. But the book had no pictures, no conversations, just words. And Alice, who adored stories filled with wonder and adventure, found herself growing quite bored. Just as she began to drift into daydreams, something peculiar caught her eye. A white rabbit, dressed in a waistcoat and holding a pocket watch, hurried past her, muttering anxiously, "Oh dear, I shall be late." It wasn't just that the rabbit was wearing clothes or speaking aloud, he seemed to be in a terrible rush, and that intrigued Alice. Without a second thought, she jumped to her feet and chased after him. The rabbit dashed into a hole beneath a hedge, and Alice, driven by curiosity, leaned in, only to tumble headfirst into the darkness. She fell for what felt like forever. Oddly enough, the fall was slow and gentle, almost like floating. As she descended, she noticed shelves with books, clocks, paintings, and all sorts of odd things lining the walls. It was as if she were drifting through a strange, upside-down room. Finally, she landed softly on a floor covered in checkered tiles. In front of her was a tiny locked door, and on a glass table nearby a golden key. But when she tried to use it, she realized she was far too big to fit through the door. Then she noticed a little bottle labeled "Drink Me." Curious, she took a sip, and instantly, she shrank down to the size of a doll. Moments later, she spotted a small cake that read "Eat Me." She took a bite and began to grow taller and taller until her head brushed the ceiling. With some trial and error and a lot of shrinking and growing, she finally managed to find the right size and slipped through the door into a breathtaking garden. The garden was like nothing she had ever seen. Talking flowers whispered secrets to one another. Paths twisted and shifted when she wasn't looking. The colors were richer, the air was sweeter, and everything felt dreamlike. As she wandered, she encountered the white rabbit again, still in a panic about being late. He didn't even notice Alice and rushed off to a large, strange-looking house. Inside, a cook threw dishes across the kitchen, a baby cried loudly, and a grinning duchess rocked in her chair. To her surprise, when the baby was handed to Alice, it transformed into a pig. From one bizarre event to another, Alice never stopped questioning what she saw. Soon, she came upon a tea party in the middle of the woods, where time stood still. Seated at a very long table were the Mad Hatter, the March Hare, and a dormouse fast asleep in a teacup. The tea party was full of nonsense, riddles with no answers, cups that refilled themselves, and seats that changed places on their own. Alice tried her best to follow the conversation, but it was like chasing butterflies in a storm. She eventually left, her head spinning but oddly delighted. In a shadowy forest, she met the mysterious Cheshire Cat, whose striped body could disappear, leaving behind nothing but his wide, eerie smile. "We're all mad here," he told her with a chuckle. The cat pointed her toward the Queen of Hearts, but warned her. "She's quick to anger, and quicker to say off with their heads." Alice arrived at a castle with hedge mazes and rose bushes, where the queen ruled over a kingdom of playing cards. A croquet match was underway, but not like any she had ever seen. Flamingos were used as mallets, hedgehogs as balls, and the queen shouted commands with wild abandon. Though the queen constantly threatened everyone with beheading, no one seemed truly afraid. It was as though the danger wasn't quite real. Alice kept her head high, unafraid, even correcting the queen on several occasions. Soon, a trial began. The Knave of Hearts was accused of stealing some tarts, and Alice was called as a witness. The courtroom was absurd. The evidence was meaningless. The witnesses made no sense, and the queen screamed for punishment before the trial even began. Alice had had enough. "This is all nonsense," she exclaimed. "You're nothing but a pack of cards." And just like that, the cards rose into the air and flew at her, spinning around her head in a whirlwind of red and black. She covered her face, and suddenly, she was back by the river, her sister still reading beside her. The sun was shining just as before, the breeze still gentle. Had it all been a dream? Alice sat quietly for a moment, thinking about the strange and magical land she had just left. Whether real or imagined, it had been a journey she'd never forget. Moral: imagination can open doors to incredible worlds, but it's important to stay grounded and question what we see. Like Alice, we can explore the impossible, as long as we remember how to come back. And so, Alice's adventure in Wonderland comes to an end. Was it all a dream? Or perhaps a secret doorway to the imagination? Thank you for joining me on this journey. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed the story. See you next time.